Cambodia, you will be serving in Siem Reap. And Siem Reap is a really exciting, amazing place to go for regular tourists. The big draw is Angkor Wat, this big, huge temple complex that was largely sealed off from the world for hundreds of years, and particularly following the human tragedy that Pol Pot brought with the Khmer Rouge regime. But that brings to mind that not only does it bring a lot of appeal for anyone who's wanting to visit Southeast Asia because of this huge and immense temple complex, ancient temple complex, but the need is really great for many reasons tied to what I just mentioned, the Khmer Rouge, and all the devastation that was wrought at that time. And that's the main reason that GlobalWare has a program there. So I'm not going to go deep into that history. There have been lots of films done on the Khmer Rouge and on Pol Pot. You will learn about that as you arrive. You will go and see the killing fields. It's a very disturbing, moving thing to visit, but important to recognize so that hopefully history will not repeat itself. Somewhat unrelated to that, that is not where Cambodia's tragedy ended. For those of you who follow war history and what happened with Vietnam, during the Vietnam War, both Laos and Cambodia were used by both Vietnam and the United States strategically. So materials, supplies, people were moved through those countries. At that same time, the United States did put landmines into the ground to try and stop troops from going wherever they didn't want them to go. And many of those landmines are still there. And the reason I'm bringing it up is, again, that relates to one of the main projects we're doing there. And I want to I think it'll give you some context if you can understand something about the landmines. They're about this big, and they're neon pink, neon orange, neon green, and they're buried kind of shallow in the ground. And over time, the earth moves and they may become exposed if they haven't already detonated. And they're designed to be detonated with any sort of vibration or weight over them. But if you picture this, who do you think is finding these and picking them up? It's generally not a 65-year-old. They see that and they know to stay away from it. But 2, 3, and 4-year-olds don't know that. And since they're really less designed to kill and more designed to maim, it's like a blender from the ground up. So there are quite a few. You'll see them when you're there. You'll see people who are mobility impaired, and you'll see children who've been impacted by this. Now, that may make you worry about being in Siem Reap itself. And I should say that Siem Reap is almost entirely cleared from landmines, if not entirely, because it is such a draw. The government knows that it's a moneymaker for them. So they have cleared the landmines out of Siem Reap. So you will be safe here, but people coming in from rural areas when we're working on our wheelchairs are coming from areas where they have not been cleared. And it is important if you go outside of Siem Reap and go into the more rural areas you go, the less likely they are fully cleared. So it's just good to know. You're not likely to even be tempted to do that while you're on our program because it is such a densely full area of things to see. You, in a 1, even 2 week time period, I think you wouldn't be too tempted to move much beyond that because it really is a lively, wonderful, amazing place. So anyway, I encourage you to read about Pol Pot, the Khmer Rouge, the Vietnam War, what was done there, and so you have a little bit more context. But anyway, that's just some brief things.